Hi everyone, Aimer back with another video about commanders that you can use for real-time events like the Siege of Winterfell. We've got a new season of that coming up probably in about a month and a half, so there is still some time to spruce up your lineup and get ready. So this time I'm going to be talking about Spearmen commanders. Let's start with the top tier. No surprise that the best commander for Spearmen is the most expensive one, and that would be Daenerys Targaryen. She, or more specifically her dragon, deals skill damage to all enemy troops in a circular area, regardless of what they are, and at the same time your troops recover rage so that their attack will get increased faster. Her regular stats, of course, are incredibly awesome. Even at silver, and I'm not quite there yet, I'm gearing up to make a play to get her here. But I've been told by other players that even at silver, she is an incredible commander and does huge damage in Siege of Winterfell events. So she's got that two-part skill, which is amazing and can be used in basically any lineup. Of course, she's really expensive to get. Going down to the next tier, also a fantastic commander, but not quite as expensive, would be Jaime Lannister. Jaime boosts Spearmen stats by a tremendous amount. Right now I have him at blue, so his attack shows 600% increase for 5 seconds. But if you get him up to gold, it's up to 1800%. He also increases the regular attack by a decent amount. And also from the second part of his skill, he has an increased chance, and right now he's got 10%, but when he gets to gold, he's up to 30%, to deal critical damage, in other words, double damage, when the troops perform a normal attack. So basically for every 3 attacks, you're getting 4 once you get him to gold in these events. Paired with Dana, who I will discuss a little bit later, this is a really, really, really dangerous combo. Now, you have to pay to get Jaime. He's not free, but you can get him through the recruitment pass. Moving on to other powerful commanders, good for these events, Annie is a great one. Annie heals your troops, but here's the interesting thing. She heals all the wounded soldiers under your command. So it's a little bit difficult to see it. I have to test this out, while the battle is actually raging. But I believe she actually does heal all of the troops you have that are not dead, regardless of where they may be on the map. So there's a difference between troops under your command and commanded troops, which would be specific to that commander. And that makes her a really, really great commander to have in the event. She is available through the recruitment pass, just like Jaime. Another powerful commander, if you're just looking at attack stats, is Patello. He increases the spear attack by up to 1800%, depending if you get him up to gold, and he also boosts the spear attacks by a large amount. Not available through the recruitment pass, so you do have to pay quite a bit to get him, but he is a very, very effective commander on the attacking side. Moving on to the next tier, I mentioned earlier about Dana. Dana has a skill where she decreases the counterattack damage taken by commanded troops, which is really not that important because it's how much counterattack damage you take is kind of hard to quantify, and it really only matters when your troops are under attack. But it's the second part of the skill which is really interesting. When she's deployed, each critical hit increases by 1,500%. So, if you recall, Jaime has that skill where he increases the critical damage, and that's guaranteed rather than just random. And that stacks up to 3 times. So together with Jaime, she will make your spears almost unbeatable. And if you triple that with Daenerys, my gosh. That's truly scary. Another underrated Spearmen commander, the first one that's actually free to play, would be Uma. Uma's not so effective under a lot of circumstances, but her strategic skill is quite interesting. She increases all of your spear's stats, but she also does a fair bit of damage to the troops directly and also increases the spearmen attack up to 900%, by 900% for 5 seconds. It's not difficult to get her to gold. You can get her through the recruitment pass, but not by actually paying for the higher tiers. You can get her with pass coins. Her only drawback is she's not awakened yet, so you're not going to be able to get the maximum potential army size with her. Another good one to look at, Marjorie Tyrell. One of the few healers in the game. Her skill is to heal all troops in a circular area, so not the entire field, but at least all of the troops that are close to her. And she also gives a fairly decent boost to your troops. You can't get her through the recruitment pass yet, though, so she's purely paid. However, it is possible that in certain events, like in the Corolla shops and the Spring Festival, sometimes you can get extraordinary or outstanding commander medals, and you can use those to get Marjorie as well. Another really good commander is Julian. A lot of people like to get Julian because with his normal skill, he increases all 3 attack types, infantry, cavalry, and spears. However, in strategic events such as Siege of Winterfell, that actually becomes total stats, as you can see here. So total attack, total defense, total health is increased. He does skill damage to the troops, so that's direct damage, and also increases your spear attack for 5 seconds. Others to consider that are a little bit harder to get, Drake is a good one. Drake increases all of the spearmen stats by more than the usual, and his only small drawback would be that instead of increasing your spearmen attack, he increases spearmen defense, which is not so useful. Also, another one to consider is Miranda. Miranda increases all of the spear stats. She increases health rather than defense, and she also reduces infantry attack. Now, that's only useful, of course, if you are being attacked by infantry, which again can be a little bit difficult to gauge or to figure out who's attacking you and what troops they have when battles are raging, but still something to think about. And you can get her through the recruitment pass as well. In terms of commanders who are just kind of okay, depending on what you need them for, Arslan is not bad. He increases your spearmen health for 5 seconds at a time, and also increases the other stats by a decent enough amount. He's easy to get. You can farm him through the Weirwood. Also, there's good old Hector. Hector can be had through the Weirwood Memories event. It does take some time to build him up. His strategic skill is that he greatly reduces the amount of counter-attack damage that the troops take. But sometimes it's unclear how much counterattack damage your troops are taking. So he's really only kind of useful in certain situations, like when you're under heavy attack. He does give decent increase to the regular stats, though, as well. And the Spearmen commanders who are not terribly useful at all in these real-time events. Gorl, his stat increases are decent, but he basically increases defense, which is the weakest of the 3 battle stats, and also there are other commanders who increase it by a higher amount. And there's also good old Varys, who's not a fighter, as you would know from watching the series. He increases the normal attack damage by only a nominal amount, 30%. Now, the only other commander, there's one that I can't really talk about here, and that would be Darius. Darius is specific basically to Glorious Battle. He doesn't have strategic skills at this time, so you can't even really use him in the real-time events. So who are your best lineups? Your best lineups, definitely use Daenerys. If you have her, that's just a complete no-brainer. Daenerys is well paired with Layla, who is a cavalry commander. As I mentioned, she can be used as kind of the female commander combo. The other ones, of course, to look at are Annie as the healer, and Jaime Lannister for his 2-pronged skill. And if you can get Dana and put her with Jaime, then you can have a really, really interesting combination that can take down a lot of enemies, mostly cavalry. Remember that even a Grey Daenerys is one of the best commanders you can use. even at mid-levels, Jamie, Dana, Annie, and Patello are decent to use as well. Other than Uma, any of those, even at lower levels, are better to use than the free-to-play commanders. Hope this helps you in the wars to come. I'll do one more installment of bow commanders, and that'll be coming up very soon. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.